So whatever I filmed just now has got absolutely nothing to do, okay, maybe a little bit, to what I'm about to explain. Disclaimer, I am a student. I'm not an expert, and it's my very first time explaining this, and this video is unscripted, so please bear with me. So basically, I got quote unquote invited to join the other class. I mean, their elective right now for year one, it's driver and conductor. They also do like timetables. They get to play with like engage models, and they learn a bit about train photography and just photography in general. So even though I am from a different elective, I got to join their class, their conductor class. That is basically one example. So whatever I say in this video might not be 100% correct. In any case, please feel free to correct me in the comment section down below. So yeah. So I'm gonna start from like the very top. I'm just gonna explain what I've learned in class. So the first thing is tebukuro, which basically means glove. Now as you can see, this part is smooth, whereas this part is rough. You can find these in like convenience stores. Not always, but there's one place that you can definitely find them. It's in Workman, you know, all those like uh, sagyo fuku, like basically in English, workwear shops. Yeah, so they will definitely sell them unless somehow they manage to run out of stock. But yeah, sometimes convenience stores sell them, but not always. This is quite an obvious point, but this side is rough because you need to be able to like grip onto things. They call this like driving gloves in English. So yeah, if you want to get them, you just ask like, "Hey, can I get some driving gloves?" Or in Japanese, they say "untenyo." So the next thing I'm going to be talking about is Shisa-Kankō. I don't really know how to translate it to English, but it's kind of like point call. Now, the incorrect way to do it is basically just like pointing like this. No, this is not how you point. So what we're taught is actually we have to point like this. Like this is how we point. We cannot point it like this. We have to point it like this. So Shisa-Kankō has many uses. It can be used to like basically call out the destinations, like basically shibetsu, like which like where the train is going, and also what kind of service it is. Is it local, rapid, express, limited express, and stuff like that. It is also used to acknowledge a signal when the train passes by that signal, or stuff like to confirm when the train is ready to depart the station. So basically, when the signal changes from like red to amber to green, even though green they technically call it shingo, it's not blue, but it's like they call it shingo. Yeah, you can point to confirm that. Or basically, you could also point to like to confirm all of these screens. I'm not very used to it, but yeah, this is roughly how you do it. Or it can be used to confirm the stopping position. I think for one man, if I'm not mistaken, the driver also does this, like for one man operations, but as a conductor, right? Like this is basically the, okay, the front is the head wall and then the back is the tail wall. I'm not sure if Japan uses like the same terminology as like internationally, but yeah. So as the train stops at this marker over here, it is used to, like, you basically point to confirm that the train has stopped at this marker. So it's kind of like Hachireo yosh. Again, these are the notes that I've taken down in class. It's my very first attempt. This is my very first like experience lesson. So you say, I mean, I was invited, but basically what I'm trying to say is that the information presented here could be incorrect. So please tell me if it's incorrect. The simulator that we use to train is based on it's basically a simplified version of Tokyo Oimachi line. And on that simulator, there is this lamp that lights up lime green. Yeah, so this is the lamp that we have to focus on. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Hano Shinko basically means that, like, basically point number one, it means that the train is ready for departure. And then I've written down Yubisashi here, which means you're supposed to say something like Hano Shinko, yosh. You say that as the lamp lights up light green. Point number two, when you are about to close the train doors, you say Mae yosh, and then you press the button to close the door. You push it down for Tokyo. So for point number two, you don't have to point. Then point number three is basically, um, you know that when the doors are open, how do I explain it? It's basically on top of the doors, and then, or maybe on top of the windows, depending on what train model it is, there is a red lamp. So if I'm not mistaken, you can observe it for yourself. When it's lit up, it means that the train doors are open. But when it's not lit up, it means that the train doors are closed. When I was practicing, right, I only got like one attempt, whereas I think some people managed to get like two attempts. My attempt was like kind of decent, especially for someone who isn't part of like this elective. But I made a mistake at point three, like when I was actually practicing, because I said like Shoto Yosh before the train doors actually closed. So that was where I made a mistake. So again, point number two, you close the doors, you push the button down to close the doors. And then point number three, when the doors actually close, and then the akai rampu, which means like the red lamp above the train doors or the windows, actually, I forgot how to say it in English. I'm sorry. Like basically, when the lamp switches off, you say Shoto Yosh, and then you do your Shisa-Kankō, you point. I'm just gonna zoom in. So, and then you look at the monitors, and then you say Sokumen Yosh, and then you point. Now, the reason why you point at the monitors is because, for point number four, the reason why we do that and we look at the monitors is because obviously human beings cannot see that far. I don't even think any living thing could even see that far. So we do this because we want to confirm that, for the entire length of the platform, using the monitors, that we want to confirm that there are no obstructions at the platform, which means there's no object or human being or animal that's like in contact with the train. And you also want to confirm that the train doors did not basically close on somebody's belongings or stuff like that. And only when you confirm that are you actually ready to depart. point number 5 varies between train company, I believe, but for the Tokyo Oimachi Line simulator that we used to train on, after we say Sokumen Yosh, and then we press the green button, it's like a buzzer to indicate to the driver, like the conductor presses the button to indicate to the driver that the train is ready for departure. And basically in the video snippet that I showed you just now, after you press the button, you, as a conductor, you return to the train cabin. You close the door, you poke your head out of the window, and then you depart. Now, you might be asking, why do the conductors poke their head out of the window? This is to confirm once again that there are no obstructions. Like, there is nothing that will come into contact with the train. And if there is something dangerous, you as the conductor are able to pull the emergency brake lever. I mean, for the Tokyo Oimachi Line simulator that we use, we pull it down. I'm not sure for other train models, but basically that's the reasoning behind why the train conductors poke their head out of the window. Now, obviously, if it's a one-man operation, the driver doesn't have to do that because he's in front, he's supposed to be looking in front, so this only applies to the conductor, not the driver, in case anybody is confused. And then one more thing, one final thing that I forgot to do as well, it's point number 6. So, ushiro o mite, basically, once you leave the train station's platforms, you as a conductor, you can lift up the window if it's like windy, and then you turn around, and then you say, "Ijo nashi, ijo nashi." Sorry, for a Tokyo accent, it's "ijo nashi," because "ijo" is a different word. So, "ijo nashi." And yeah, for point number 6, you also point. So for our Tokyo Oimachi Line simulator, the mic is actually a wired mic. But for KQ, if you actually observe, they hold a wireless mic. Yeah, so it's different. So it kind of goes like you hold the mic and then you say, "Tobira shimarimasu" or "Tobira shimemasu. Muri na go jōsha wa oyame kudasai." Or "Kakekomi jōsha o oyame kudasai." Sorry, "Kakekomi jōsha wa oyame kudasai." So after you announce whatever you have to announce on the mic, and then you do your "ma yosh," and then you close the door. So now after you have done point 6, you then, cause like you're now inside the train is in motion, the train has already left the station, right? So now you follow up with your announcements. Now it varies depending on the line. Sometimes you have to announce, sometimes you don't have to announce. It also depends if the train model um, has built-in announcements or not. So if not, you have to manually announce it. Like some older train models, they just aren't fitted with like announcements. I think Casey's 3500. I'm sorry, I'm very bad at memorizing what train model it is, but my main point is that some train models just don't have built-in announcements. They call it Jidō Hoso. So yeah, you have to say something like 次は調布です。出口は左側です。or 出口は右側です。京葉相模原線はお乗り換えです。The next station is Chofu. The doors will open on the left or the right side. Please change your floor or please transfer here for the Keio Sagamihara line bound for Hashimoto. So yeah, that would be the English version. Once again, I don't have a script because in real life you cannot really script things. Yeah, you can write things down on the notebook, but you cannot really script all of this. So yeah, that's the whole point of why we even practice in the first place. So yeah, the course's instructor, the tutor, the teacher, whatever you call it, he actually shared with us one bad experience he had, whereby it was like late at night and he accidentally closed the doors on somebody's belongings, I believe, and then the train moved off while the belongings were still like there, and he didn't notice it. So unfortunately, he was. Oh yeah, as I was saying, he made a big error. Okina misu. That's what they call it in Japanese, and yeah, unfortunately, he was sent to Nikkin Kyoiku. It wasn't a pleasant experience. So this is why we have to be careful. Depending on the driver or the conductor, some of them, they like when they do their Shisa-Kankō or whenever they do their point to call or whatever you call it, some of them are loud, some of them are not as loud, but the main point is whether you are loud or soft, you have to do everything properly, and that's basically what he instructed us. So basically, he used to like work as a conductor. I'm not sure if he has ever been a driver before. I'm not sure if he has ever been a driver before, but he was a conductor. He used to work as a conductor for a train company, train operator. He used to work for a train operator as a conductor. Okay, now as the train arrives at the station, basically you would announce you're like, まもなく調布です。出口は左側です or stuff like that. And then when the train actually comes to a stop, like what I've explained just now, when the train is about to go to a stop, you do this because it's an 8-car train, right? So you say, 8両, yosh. So yeah. And then finally, 速度, yosh. Actually, I'm still not sure where you actually point for a Sokoto, but yeah, I will confirm that again when I have the opportunity. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And this is basically what the instructor said. There is a big difference between being a rail fan and training to work for a real company. Those are two completely different worlds. So it's not about like your knowledge about all the specifics of a particular train model or what station melodies. Okay, at most it's probably something like which stations have melodies, which stations have buzzers, because Marunouchi line, Chiyoda line, and what's the other line called? Tozai line, like at Nakano Station. They have the Eidan buzzers. So yeah, it's like the difference in length. For the buzzers, you could sound them indefinitely, whereas for the melodies, they loop around. So yeah, it's kind of different. I mean, that's at most you have to know the difference between like which stations have melodies and which stations have buzzers, but obviously you don't have to know specifically like what melody this is because that's more of like for a rail fan thing. It's basically the difference between interest and actual work. I mean, before I enrolled into school, I already knew this. It's just like a good reminder because, for the other class, some of them, they are still more of like toritetsu kei. Like, basically, they're still more of like real fans as compared to like people who actually want to work as drivers or conductors. I don't think every single person there is like, they actually want to become drivers or conductors. They might actually go more into like train photography, engage, or like publish railway magazines. Like basically the career options are kind of endless, I would say. You can even apply for like bus companies, taxi companies as well, or even hotels, because we deal with like tourism as well. You can also become a tour guide. You could do hatobas basically. But whichever operator you're working for, it is very, very crucial that you know what stations your train line serves. And I mean every single stop. and then whether you're doing local, rapid, express, limited express. So yes, memorizing station names, this one is really, really important. Or like just in your head, memorize the, not really memorize, but like just have a rough idea of what uh the layout, like the station layout, or the differences between like stations along the line that you're driving or you're working as a conductor in along on. You get what I mean? My phone battery is running low, so any questions, just comment down below. Bye bye.